Greetings and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
So, Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? Excited to talk about, well, at least one of our releases tonight. I'm definitely I'm a little more excited to talk about one than the other. How's that?
Okay. Well, we got dinosaurs and ninjas tonight, so you can't go wrong with that. And with that being said, we will jump right into it with our first film, which is from 1996 and writer-director Donald F. Glut, Dinosaur Valley Girls. Right there.
I would have said boobs, dinosaurs, and ninjas, but
Boobs too. You can't have too many of those. So in Dinosaur Valley Girls, chain-smoking Hollywood action movie star Tony Markham is zapped back in time by a magic artifact to a prehistoric world of flesh-hungry dinosaurs, angry cavemen, and a tribe of exotic, love-starved cave girls, where the boobs come in. He must use modern-day machismo and the best karate moves to survive the onslaught of Jurassic terrors while wooing the literal cave girl of his dreams, Heather. All right, so Dinosaur Valley Girls, Todd. Long history with this one for me. I remember, USA Up All Night. Then it had a couple DVD releases, and of course, now we're here with this beautiful Visual Vengeance Blu-ray edition. I was really happy when they announced this one. So just a little bit about it in general. Donald F. Glut, if you're unfamiliar with him, he's an author, director, kind of a dinosaur expert. And I'll talk a little bit actually about some of the special features in a little bit on the disc, because I would say this is a love letter to dinosaurs and the prehistoric era. His love of it really just comes out in this film. I mean, it's just a Valentine to dinosaurs. And what is this movie? Sometimes it gets labeled as softcore, and I really wouldn't say that's the case with this. There are a lot of boobs. It's all very innocent. There's not a lot of sex. Really, it's mostly boobs. So it, but there's no bump and grind. This is not a like a seduction cinema type feature. It's a love letter to dinosaurs.
didn't they put it out though too?
That's why it gets lumped in, because it did kind of come out in the era of Misty Monday and those films, and it's like, yeah, but this is something a little different. This is much more in the vein of a Bikini Drive-In kind of film. There's a lot of heart in this, a lot of humor. I mean, it's a comedy, some great stop motion dinosaur effects in this. Donald Glut, he wrote all kinds of books on dinosaurs. He recorded albums with dinosaur themed music. He's a fascinating guy. With this release, I mean, Visual Vengeance always kills it with their special features, but they really deliver on this. I believe everything was ported over from the previous DVD, and then there's new features that I'll go over. But this came out like just fresh off of Jurassic Park. We've got Dinomania at the video store. And people forget, I mean, of course, Jurassic Park was a movie industry defining film, but we also had massive video store hits like Prehysteria, Carnosaur, which I was friends with my local ma and pop video store owner, and he couldn't keep that stuff in stock. Like he said, it was amazing for a film that didn't have any theatrical release to speak of, and people just dinosaur mania. And this is a very fun movie that fits in with all those films. I mean, Prehysteria being the family film, Carnosaur being the fun schlocky Corman B film, and this kind of being the sexy comedy. But I don't want that to turn anybody off because I don't feel like any of the sexual content in here is gonna make you'd be uncomfortable watching it around.
Did you ever see the family version? I know that it did get released
So
under
yeah, well, the USA Up All Night, I believe, version, which
which would
he
make sense.
talks a little bit about in the features. He's like that was his best payday for this movie. He said, like, it's like they picked it up and it did quite well. Yeah, and honestly, like I would still love it. I feel like I saw the uncut first, but it's hard to say in my memory.
I think you'd remember if you saw it, then the second time you saw it, it had boobs because I think you'd love it even more.
This
So
is true.
I think that would stick in your brain.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, no, and I mean the miniature work, the animatronic dinosaurs, all of that is very cool. Don Glut made up his own language for the cave people, for the cavemen and cave girls, the two different tribes, and very like schlocky, fun, good-natured humor. The cavemen are named after fast food restaurants, and all the women are absolutely lovely. It's one of those movies that just bygone era and just makes you smile when you look at it. There was a funny story about one actor that was a real pain in the ass, and it wasn't planned this way. But his revenge on him is he put in like farts every time this guy was on screen. So basically, this actor became the flatulent caveman, and
Yeah.
so,
Very Lloyd Kaufman of him.
very Lloyd Kaufman of him. So and we also this movie does have names in it. In fact, we get William Marshall, who of course I'm a big Blackula fan. I've got a Blackula statue over there. He's in it, one of his very last roles. He passed away in 2003. We also get the late great Karen Black, who really does comedy well. I feel like most people probably watching our show know her as, Mother Firefly, Trilogy of Terror, and she's amazing in all of her horror work. But I mean, she was a great comedic and dramatic actress, and she's adorable here too. She's really funny. And of course, we get a name that we're all familiar here on Flesh Wound feature, well, specifically Flesh Wound After Dark name, Griffin Drew, who plays Daphne, Tony's girlfriend, or I can't remember if they were married. I think girlfriend. And yeah, she definitely partakes in a lot of the nudity. But like I said, this one, Bikini Drive-In, think that, like a really good double. This is not a bump and grind movie. I don't want anybody to maybe dismiss it for that reason. If you grew up on, Land of the Lost and all these great dinosaur fantasy adventure films, I do think you'll have a good time with this. A lot of dad humor and just very good natured. There is even some of the music that Don Glut was known for, Jurassic Punk, which had an impromptu dance number that was rehearsed by the girls in between shooting. It wasn't even planned. This is just B movie gold for me. What do you think about Dinosaur Valley Girls, Todd?
I mean, co-sign everything you said. This is a fun one. I think I discovered it in the DVD era.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't rent this in the back when it was Jurassic Park Mania specifically, that part.
Yeah.
But when I did, yeah, I found it. It's a fun movie. It's rewatchable. Yeah, I mean, and it's like an era of effects we don't get now. And even in some of the films of the same era, it's you're getting recycled footage and stuff like that. And this is just like, yeah, it's fun, fresh, and
Those effects work. Like you
yeah.
can call them dated, but man, do they still work well.
You know what? I'd rather see that than a shitty CGI dinosaur now. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're all shitty. I mean, obviously Jurassic Park looks, amazing, but we've all seen the shitty ones, and I'd much rather have, you know, well, classic stop motion and everything in here. This was I said one I really liked, and that's this one. I don't know what else to say about this one. You nailed it on this. Extra wise, what else do we got?
Extra wise, we have a commentary, which is very informative. This movie was shot in 15 days, and it actually began its life as a Playboy Channel production, but Glut pulled out because he kind of wanted to own the film himself. Playboy, they just own it, and we
Right.
talked about that on a
You always
previous.
want to pull out of Playboys, right?
Yeah. Well, we talked about that
Playmates.
on a previous show because, some of that stuff is just kind of lost. I don't think, the remnants of Playboy are that concerned with physical media. So for us, I'm glad he made that decision.
Yeah.
He talks a little bit about the USA Up All Night deal and in general, like how you could really make money off of these things back then. Nudity now not being as much of a thing. His inspiration, all the great classic dinosaur movies, 1 million BC, inspiration, of course, is a big one. And and also being able to license some popular music that's in the film and kind of avoiding casting some of the notable scream queens at the time, because you look at a title like this and you're thinking, well, surely either Brink Stevens, Linnea Quigley, or Michelle Bauer, if not all three, are going to be in this movie. But he said by that point he felt like it kind of indicated that it was very low budget. And by 96 or 95 when they were shooting it, the scream queen craze had definitely peaked and started to decline a little bit. So he avoided that kind of casting. And great commentary. Glut's a very likable guy, like I said. There's also a 54-minute interview with Donald Glut that kind of recaps some of his early aspirations to be a rock star, but he loved dinosaurs so much, and he fell in love with the beast from 20,000 Fathoms. And he made his first movie when he was 9 years old as a boy. And it kind of runs down like some of his credits, meeting the late great Burt Gordon, who, it's wild, just recently passed away at 100 years old. And Forrest J. Ackerman, their relationship. If you guys don't know those names, you should. Forrest J. Ackerman, I mean, famous Monsters of Filmland, much like Fangoria, like that was the Bible for our people, for our tribe. They've done so much for the genre, and it's disheartening when people don't know those names. But he does talk a little bit about the inspiration more of 1 million BC, and of course the remake 1 million years BC, the Raquel Welch film that you can, certainly see kind of that with more boobs, basically. And this was a passion project. He took out a second mortgage on his home to get this made. And there's some good William Marshall stories. He was, towards the end of his life at that point, and was having some difficulty remembering lines, but very nice man, and they got through it all with them. One interesting bit too, Elizabeth Brooks, who was in that would be wild at like 4 years old. Elizabeth Brooks of The Howling was initially supposed to be in the Karen Black role, but she was very sick and died around the same time. So that didn't end up happening. Really good interview, and it doesn't repeat too much info from the commentary, which is also very nice. It felt like they set that up really well. We also get some retro features as well, making of, which has a lot of on-set footage from 1995, and Griffin Drew who unfortunately there's not a new interview with Griffin Drew. She's kind of one that I feel like has just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, unfortunately, but good seeing her. We get an actress audition reel that runs 25 minutes and is actually kind of cool seeing all these pretty girls come in and auditioning as cave girls. It's pretty funny. And one that is can't miss, Donald Glut, The Collection. Only runs about 9 minutes, but it's a tour of his house, which think me, but if I just really love dinosaurs. It's basically a museum. He has an outdoor dinosaur garden, which is insane.
I feel like Kruger would be very jealous.
Yes, yes. I was actually going to say he should definitely watch that. This T-Rex skull that he bought post-divorce.
Did he get it from Nicolas Cage?
Maybe. Paintings, comics, drawings, statues. Like, this is like a great nerd feature. I wish more companies would produce this stuff because we're all a bunch of geeks here, and those of us left still buying physical media, like, I love this. I love just seeing people geek out about what they're passionate about, and I really enjoyed that particular special feature. And it's stacked from top to bottom. There's just so much going on this disc. There's also an archival commentary with Don Glut and C. Courtney Joyner. There's the new one also from 2023. And they also have the PG-13 cut, which is kind of cool. Deleted scenes, the Dinosaur Tracks music video reel, Jurassic Punk music video that you see in the film. And yeah, it's insane. And as always with Visual Vengeance, you get all the extra goodies, the poster, the stickers, pretty cool little stickers there that they give you, the typical rental stickers, and then the poster is the cover art. And
the slip cover art.
Yeah. And then we get the alternate art on the struggling getting it out of the slip. You know how that works. There you go. You get that, and then that is also reversible, and you can get the also familiar
yes,
retro art there too. So I've said it before, and I always put over Visual Vengeance because I'm having trouble getting it in. That's what she said. Visual Vengeance, some of these movies are virtually unknown. Not this one, actually. I feel Dinosaur Valley Girls, there are a lot of fans, but it doesn't stop them from really putting together these kick-ass discs, man. Like, this is more extras than you'll get on a Criterion release. I mean, it's insane. And they're reasonably priced, and yeah, collector friendly. They nail it on everything. So support Visual Vengeance. Todd, what do you rate Dinosaur Valley Girls?
Again, this is my enjoyment, so it might seem a little higher. I'm a 4 on this one. I really do enjoy this one.
Yeah, I am. I'm even going to go a 4.5.
I thought you would be a little higher because I know you. Yeah, but
this era of just B movie, fantasy adventure films. If you're a monster kid, it's hard not to like this. And again, just to repeat, this is not what I would consider a softcore film. It's sexy. There's a lot of boobs and whatnot, but it's something that I think will bring a smile to your face, just being a fan of, Burt Gordon and just the monster movies of old. So yeah, Dinosaur Valley Girls, I think it goes without saying at this point, it's a 5 in terms of the overall package. I could never have asked for more from Dinosaur Valley Girls on Blu-ray. They killed it. So, moving on to our next film of the evening, which is a little lesser known, I think.
Yes, this was
Look,
my first time seeing it, and you were telling me before because we spoke off air that there's some history behind this one. I'm interested in that.
absolutely. So the movie is Furious from 1984, and co-directors Tim Everett and Tom Sartori. And in this film, Simon, a fierce kung fu master, ventures into the city's gritty underbelly for answers to his sister's death. There, a cunning spiritual master deceives him, plotting to snatch his piece of an ancient amulet he shared with her. Unraveling the scheme, Simon plunges fists and feet first into a bone crushing battle for the fate of the world against an alien army of karate wizards, dragons, a new wave clone band, talking pigs, and mystical chickens. If I had a nickel. So Furious. This stars the brothers Simon and Philip Ree. And if you're not kind of familiar, Simon Ree, he had his acting run, but Simon Ree went on to become one of the top stunt coordinators and stuntmen in Hollywood. Most recently, he did Maxine. He did the stunts on that. He's just done, I mean, you name it, giant Hollywood film after giant Hollywood film. So this is kind of an early look at him. I believe, he's worked on, he doubled Jackie Chan and all kinds of just huge stuff to this day, which is really cool. His brother Philip Ree, probably best known for the Best of the Best movies, which the first one with Eric Roberts was kind of a sleeper hit in the 90s. It just came out and did more business than they were expecting. And it got 3 sequels. So Philip Ree is best known for that. And I do recommend checking those out if you like martial arts films.
I'm a big fan of the third one.
Best of the Best 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is good. Oh, it's interesting you remember it that well. Maybe that might be a fun.
Do you not remember who's in it?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I actually, the first 3 are good. I think 4 declines a little bit.
You just said there's only 3 of them, though. No, that's what I was going to ask you next.
Oh, 3 sequels. Sorry, 4.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, there's
Maybe
4.
you said that and I just didn't get it.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, so obviously this is kind of a DIY martial arts film, and I know like some of the chopsaki stuff is not usually up your alley, but I feel like this one does have that surreal what the fuck vibe
It
going
just
for it.
can't be enough for me to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, a pig gets roundhouse kicked. So it's very
the ADR, everything about it, yeah, it makes it a fun viewing experience, even if it's not necessarily my thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the fight choreography is actually very well done. If you watch a lot of these particularly low budget DIY, or there's a lot of vanity productions out there, more than people realize, films that like Neil Breen, these vanity projects that just somebody with money keeps making movies that they star in, and they're just so out there. This is very well choreographed in terms of some of the martial arts sequences, and when it runs, I believe 71 minutes, and it hits the ground running. You're never going to get bored, I think, watching this one. The weirdness, like I said, the random new wave band, the the chickens, the mustachioed magician that he's got to fight, like all of that, I think just makes for good B-movie fun. And the storyline is kind of all over the place, but it really doesn't matter. There's almost no dialogue in the film, very, very little. and it was done that way to save money for when it would get, dubbed overseas. You wouldn't have to pay as much to dub a movie that might have 10 to 15 lines in the entire film. And yeah, I like this. If you like the Bruce Lee LE type stuff, and the the knockoff Bruce Lee movies, I think you will have fun with it. It's it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I think it delivers enough hand-to-hand combat to keep the karate nerds happy. And yeah, I enjoy, it's one of those movies. It's going to be maybe love it or hate it for some people, but I really enjoy it. So one really cool special feature on this one is it's called let me make sure I read the title of the special feature. Well, North American no budget martial arts cinema primer. Now you see why I couldn't remember the whole thing. It's a video essay by Justin DeClue, and he's it runs 21 minutes, and he talks about the low budget martial arts movies made here in North America, and kind of the challenges of that. He brings up films like The Instructor, which I like quite a bit. There's some cool chainsaw fight scenes in that. The Deadly Art of Survival, which is a good one. Blood and Steel. He even talks a little bit about I believe he even references some vanity projects in that one. Lost Faith with Joel D. Wynkoop, which is actually on Blu-ray. Good example of maybe somebody who shouldn't be starring in the martial arts film. Joel is great, but it's kind of like me making a ninja movie starring me. Like, I don't think I got the body for that one. But I really enjoyed hearing this guy talk. Like I said, it's 21 minutes, but he imparts a lot of great knowledge. And just kind of the love of these DIY films that often did struggle in terms of fight choreography, and the action wasn't always as crisp. Like I said, Furious, a little different because the Ree brothers know their shit, and the fight choreography is really good. But yeah, he talks about the challenges of trying to make these movies, the 70s martial arts boom, with the Americans trying their best to do it themselves, which when you really look at it, until at some point in the 90s, a lot of they didn't have a good time of doing it right until a lot of the Hong Kong guys came over here and started making movies in the States. There's a lot of those films that we love, but we go back and look and it's like, ooh, oh my God, that's choreographed horribly. But these movies still have a charm, and I think this is a really good special feature. There's also the Ree brothers career overview, which runs 10 minutes and kind of runs down their early life and training martial arts in Korea, opening a dojo, which, again, being a very low budget DIY movie, you see a lot of their students in the films, a lot of locations that they had. I believe their martial arts school's also in there. This is kind of fun. Runs down how Simon became the big stunt guy, and some of their career. Also, we get a Scarecrow video podcast with Tim Everett that runs 29 minutes. And let's see here. We get a commentary, which is very informative. Let's see. And an archival commentary as well. And in this, they kind of talk about shooting at Will Rogers State Park and some of the friends that they used in the film, and casting on martial arts skills over acting skills, which does kind of show at times, but also the decision, lack of dialogue, and very good, very informative commentaries. We also get High Kicking in Hollywood, an interview with director Tom Sartori that runs 53 minutes. The interviews are, very good. And he kind of talks about doing a guerrilla style shoot on no money. We get another 53-minute interview with other director Tim Everett, Kung Fu Kid. And he kind of talks about the scene at the time and kind of winging this movie without a script. Initially, he wanted to do a slasher film, but that craze had started to sort of wane a little bit, at least get one out and you can make a mint craze by that point. Really enjoyed that. Talks about his punk band at the time, which again, being DIY, that kind of is featured as well. Another absolutely stacked release from Visual Vengeance. Amazing artwork again. I'd say in terms of artwork, Visual Vengeance is on par or better than most anybody right now. All of the extra goodies that you would expect, the stickers, get a little ninja star. Some of the VHS stickers that they put each time. You got the poster, booklet, alternate art card, and I guess I should have shown also on the inside there. And we also go old school with the original artwork.
That artwork reminds me of quite a bit of they call her Macho Woman.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's very similar, and I've always thought the cover.
Yeah.
Just random trauma fact, I recognize it, I see it.
So Furious, Todd, I know, like I said, not really your genre.
No.
But I figured you'd like this one.
I mean, I don't know if it's beyond a one-time watch, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say if you want to, if this is up your alley, I mean, you don't have to be a fan like I had a good enough time. So I definitely say it's worth checking out.
Yeah. And I should also say at this point, I think this was the 17th release, numbered there. And I have all the Visual Vengeance Blu-rays. So far, and I can honestly say this, they haven't botched anything. Every release has just been stellar, and this is no exception. So with Furious, 71 minutes of just lunacy. I really enjoy it. I am a 3.5 on the movie. What about you, Todd?
I'm a 3. I'm a little lower. No surprise, but
that's actually a huge rating for you on these.
It's because I was 2.5, 3, but I think it's a little bit above. I mean, it's weird because it's like not above average if you're talking about a movie, but in terms of enjoyment, I had a better time than I was expecting. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Watch it for a funny on-camera blooper where one of the villains, there's a dog, Simon Ree's dog, and he's going to the house and he kind of shoos the dog with his leg, and the dog like bites his leg. You can tell it's just they kept it in. Good. These two movies were a lot of fun to watch again back to back.
Yeah, as I said, the one it definitely Dinosaur Valley Girls is my favorite of the two.
Understandable, and I would agree. But you liked Furious a lot more than Kung Fu Rascals. I know that was.
It was not. Yeah, this one, because I mean, a lot of it's unintentionally fun, but it doesn't matter. That it made it fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Furious, I do certainly recommend for fans of weird B movies.
Yeah.
So on that note, guys, we look forward to being back here, hopefully sooner rather than later, for some more Visual Vengeance Blu-ray reviews. And let us know what you think about the movies in the comments, because I'm very curious with these two. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. It really helps the channel grow. And on that note, we'll see you next time.
Money's on the dresser.